Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review for altcoin majors. As always, this is not financial advice. Trading is risky. Do your own research. I am not a professional, etc. Today I wanted to review altcoin majors and what I think they will do if Bitcoin, depending on what Bitcoin does. I'm just going to go really quickly into Bitcoin in the context here. I drew this chart here just as a reminder that certain levels can be very strong resistance areas or supply zones. And we saw this area in 2018, early 2018, this 12K region be resistance for three long years, 2018, 2019, and then again in 2020. Price could not break through this area. So I want you just to remember that in regards to the context of $20,000. $20,000 is certainly an area that can be broken, and I believe will be broken, given the institutional buying and the spot buying that drove this move up from 12K to 20K. But I just want to remind you that this area could still be very strong resistance, and I'm not so sure if it's going to get through on the first go, but it's quite possible. Anyways, the context is that if Bitcoin goes higher to 25K or something like that, then I think that Alt-BTC pairs are going to die very hard and suffer in the short term. I believe that Alt-USD pairs will probably go up. Probably not as much as Bitcoin itself, but they should still do pretty well. If Bitcoin fails here and starts short-term dumping, then I think that Alt-USD pairs are going to die off. Alt-BTC pairs are going to suffer as well in the very short term. But this scenario here that I am talking about, I believe that this is going to be more bullish for altcoins in the long term, just because if this happens where price rejects from $20,000, then I think that Bitcoin could enter some sort of prolonged ranging stage where it just kind of hangs around and altcoins flourish anywhere from, I don't know, 14,000 to 20,000 or something like that. And of course, lower is entirely possible. It going to 12,000, it seems unlikely in the short term, but you never say never in crypto. So here's the context, and let's go into some majors. This is BCH. I actually thought this one looked somewhat okay relatively before, but it's kind of entering this very slow price action where it's just basically in a range. There's really not much to say about this, to be frank and honest with you. This has just been ranging since March, in my opinion. There have been some decent gains over the summer. This went up about 50%, which is great, but in terms of this full-on reversing, I mean, this is still in a very prolonged downtrend. And you could still maybe make the argument that price is still in one larger range in general, where this has arguably been ranging since early 2019. So in regards to this type of price action, this will do well when Bitcoin does well, but almost always it's going to perform worse than Bitcoin. So I'm personally not buying this. I don't see this as being a great buy yet. It has some good gains today, but I still expect there to be some sellers in the $500 area. Okay, so BCH, yeah, not necessarily a great buy in my opinion quite yet, but could be okay. along with the rest of the majors. And it's important to understand too, I want to talk to you guys too about this. I always talk to you guys about understanding the relationships between certain altcoins and their market cycles, and the relationships between coins like BCH, XRP, LTC, Ethereum. Those are majors where they're typically going to move with Bitcoin. Their market cycles are generally going to be with Bitcoin, and generally Bitcoin is almost always going to outperform, and that's that way compared to all altcoins. But there are certain periods when altcoins do outperform Bitcoin, and majors are a sector where they all kind of move together for the most part. So that's something to really understand. And you can find these relationships just by studying many altcoin charts in general. Here's ETHUSD. I posted this chart many times on Twitter. I believe that this one is going to $1,000 plus. And the reason is just that it's gone 100% or more over the last several years, starting in December. It hasn't gone 100% up in December, but it's gone 100% up by the end of its overall uptrend. So this one ended in February. This one ended, I mean, this one kept going all the way up until the summer. So if you want to count that, you know, this one really went up all the way, nearly 300%. And this one, again, this was 2017, the all-time high levels for Ethereum. But in general, I have very strong feelings that ETHUSD will be over $1,000 within the next few months. And I feel confident about that personally. LTC USD. I talked about this one a little bit yesterday with my market review. I basically thought that this supply zone was an important area. This was the last high before the big coronavirus dump. And this is a significant supply zone, in my opinion. Price kind of went up past even higher to this weekly supply zone right here. And this is where price stalled out several times. So personally, what I'm expecting to see is for price to ultimately continue consolidating overall. And when you can get to lower time frames if we want here. I can see price consolidating and basically making higher lows and eventually lower highs. I can basically see this just consolidating, and essentially I'm expecting it to break this sell side liquidity as it continues to tap it. Because remember, as I said in my other video, check out the strength of resistance and support areas. Again, the more times it is tapped in a short amount of time, the weaker it gets. So if this continues to hang around and continue to keep forming higher lows, then this area, this $100 area is going to get broken. So I feel very confident about this area eventually getting broken. But again, LTC from high time frame standpoints, it looks pretty good. I mean, you can consider this, as I said, this kind of like the lower last high, $84 before COVID dump. And now price looks to be wanting to go higher and eventually probably test 140. And you're always going to see significant areas of support and resistance from the swing high areas. And that's kind of a little bit of what I talked about too in my strength of support and resistance areas. But once this area gets broken, there's some other residual sell liquidity at $100. And but after that, after $100, I think the next one should be 130. So this looks pretty good on high time frame charts, in my opinion. And you could maybe even argue that this did create a higher high. XRP, again, I always thought that 40 cents was a potential buy area. This is a kind of a demand area, and I'm focusing on the wicks here, and it does look like this is basically just going to reach that area. You can see sell side volume just coming in really heavy right now, and that's usually not very good. It means that obviously sellers are dominating. From a high time frame standpoint, though, this still looks pretty good, and I long thought that this big buy volume with relatively low movement in price did look like accumulation, and you also saw a big move up for here. And it's to be determined if this current pump is just going to be similar to something like this that we saw back in September of 2018. But, you know, I guess we'll see. I personally think that this at least has one more move up, but I could be wrong, and Ripple could just keep crushing souls. I have no idea. Really quickly, I just wanted to talk to you guys about two Ethereum BTC. I think that this one was arguably in one long range. And let's look here. This is arguably just in one big range. All the way since 2018. It could have been ranging this entire time. I mean, equal lows. And these sellers around 0.036, they should be getting tapped because they've been tapped several times all throughout here, and they've been tapped recently here. So again, if it starts to hang around here, resistance gets weaker and weaker as price continues to tap there. And after that, I think it's quite likely that price will go to 0.05. I think that's entirely possible. But this is also with the thesis that Ethereum is going to be a very, very strong coin relative to Bitcoin. It seems likely with ETH 2.0 and much of DeFi being built on Ethereum, but there are other chains that are competing right now. So we will see. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this Majors market review. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.